Tex, first day back with a full squad. How was it? Good sesh?
Yeah, it's always good to be back first day. You talk to the boys about what they've done in the off season, but yeah, it's good to be back and back into the swing of things.
And I guess coming back in December, early December, you've really got to try and smash out a few weeks now to make sure the boys go to that Christmas break nice and healthy.
Yeah, so we'll have 3 weeks before Christmas, and there's a lot of things that we want to do, but there's some things that you need to probably fine-tune more so than others. So we'll talk about that today and get on the way to getting better and trying to achieve what we want next year.
What are some of those things?
We want to get better in our team defence, and obviously our attack was pretty sound last year. But I think the one thing that we want to get better at is our contest. We need to be a little bit tougher in the contest, and that'll start as of today.
I mentioned sort of Pikey, you mentioned late last week about wanting more contested footy. That was perceived to be a strength, but that's an area you're really going to focus on?
That'll be an area that we'll focus on quite heavily throughout the pre-season, yeah.
Do you feel like you weren't able to match it with some of the better teams?
No, I think there was just periods through games where we probably weren't at our best, so we just need to contain it or maintain it for longer periods of time. And obviously we've got a bit of a young group at the moment, so I look at the Bulldogs. I think they've changed the game a little bit more, so I think you need to be able to play multiple positions. I look at a Riley Knight, if he's to come to our team, he's going to have to play inside, midfield, outside, go forward. So if you can play different positions in the game today, then it adds a big string to your bow.
So is that something that you'll work on, obviously, pretty strenuously over the pre-season?
Yeah, I think so. We'll work on, I think we'll educate every single player to be able to play different positions and have different bows or strings to their bow.
You haven't obviously you got your teeth stuck into the draft, but there weren't any players bought from other clubs. Where will the improvement come from? Which young players can put their hand up to take your next?
It's going to come from in. It's going to be internal, and it's going to be as much as we want it to be. We'll drive each other. We'll have high standards and hopefully train as hard as we can, and that's going to get us to where we want to go.
You mentioned Roddy Nice, one player. What young players can actually push up?
Every single player, I think. I don't put any limits on any of the players. You come in as a first year, I don't put any limits on those guys either. So there's opportunities up for grabs, and it'll be interesting to see who wants to take them.
Do you see Jordan Gallucci has been able to come in and make an immediate impact next year?
Geez, yeah, tough question. First day back. Look, ask me in 5 or 6 weeks and I'll have an answer for you.
What's your immediate impact and your impression of Jordan? Having met him today.
Probably too hard to tell first day in. Ask me in 5 or 6 weeks.
Tex, when you come back from, it used to be when you come back from pre-season, it's a bit of a look out to see what kind of nick everyone's in. Is that even a question when the guys come back now?
I think pre-season everyone says you want to get fitter and stronger. So everyone's like that, but it's about now trying to get the edge over the opposition, every single other team. That we've started a couple of weeks behind everyone else, obviously making finals. That's the way the AFL system is now. But I said we want to fine-tune our contest stuff, keep our team defence in good order. We made big improvements last year, but I think we can go to another level, and obviously our Crows ball attack can get a lot better.
You talked before about all the players playing multiple positions. We had such a settled front half, 4 to 6 last year. Does that mean you guys might be, pushing into different parts of the ground coming up next season? Yeah,
I think it's a weapon that we can go to. I think we can have guys like Eddie and Charlie. You saw what Charlie did through the finals. He went up through the midfield and played some really good footy. So I think it's something that we'll look at as a footy club.
Off the ground, Talyor, I wondered if you'd given any thought to player salaries reflecting a split of AFL revenue, whether you thought that was a fair outcome for players.
Has it been sorted, has it?
No, but I understand for some cause it's up for debate.
Oh, look, I think we've got our Players Association in place to negotiate that for us, and I'll leave that for them to negotiate.
Your personal game, you mentioned Pete asked about the forwards. How will your role personally evolve? What are you looking to do to get even better?
Oh, look, I think our forward line gelled quite nicely, so I'm happy to play my role within the forward line. But if it means I have to play a little bit higher or play deeper, I'll do whatever's best for the team.
How do you get more consistent personally? You know, you talk about everyone else, but personally, in your position, how do you? Is it a mental thing, or do you have to work on things specifically for your game? Because you sometimes tear it open, and then sometimes get a couple of quieter weeks.
Oh, look, I just want to play consistent footy and compete as hard as I can, beat my opponent, and then hopefully be a good leader for my teammates, and I'll try and get better every day in all areas.
What do you think you need to get better in?
Oh, there's a lot of areas that I need to get better in, so I'll keep practicing them through the pre-season. Hopefully come February that they're all fine-tuned.
What area the Crows lost last year was that there was a talk after you lost Dangerfield, there wasn't enough breakaway speed through the midfield. You spoke about getting more contested footy. Who goes in there to give you that bit of extra speed? Obviously, Jordan Gallucci's for one down the track, but questionable how many games he'll play next year. How are you going to sort that out?
Oh, look, I thought our midfield played a really good role last year. You look at the Sloaney, he made All-Australian. Obviously, personally had a consistent year. And you look at the Crouch brothers come in, they've developed quite nicely. Rory Atkins played a consistent year, so I think we're building on that. And as I said, there's opportunities through our midfield for blokes to come in and play their role, and I'm confident that guys like Wayne Malera, Riley Knight, and guys like that can come in and play through the midfield.
And Cameron, you mentioned Cameron, so they're the three that maybe can give you a bit of zip through there?
Yeah, there's three names just off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's plenty of others that can come in.
Do you feel the club's still well and truly within the premiership window, Tex, next year?
I think that's what we're all here for.
There's obviously some clubs, though, that are further behind others that,
It doesn't really bother me about other clubs, but I think we've got a very sound list. We've got a list that want to get better and want to win the ultimate goal, so that's what keeps me coming to training every day.
What sort of brought you back a couple of weeks early, mate? Because I know obviously you were here with the first and fourth year players at the athletics track the first day of training.
Oh, look, I just wanted to come back and get 5 weeks in before Christmas, and I like to keep an eye on the young boys, see how they're going, see what sort of puppy fat they've got on.
Out of those young guys, before I let you go, who's impressed you out of the young blokes who have started back early?
Yeah, look, Riley Knight and Wayne Malera too. Rory Atkins come back in really good shape, and both the Crouch boys have come back as well, so it's good.
Do you talk to that? You talk about the opportunity, especially in the midfield for those younger players. Do you, as skipper, sit down and talk to them and just so there is that opportunity? And not so much. I don't. I'm sure that our experienced midfielders in Scott Thompson and Rory Sloan, they'll speak to them about the opportunity that's up for grabs.
Tex, I know it's got nothing to do with you personally, but the stuff that's going on across the road, do you think as a footballer, the support systems for blokes that are struggling off the field, there's plenty of support from the AFL and clubs, enough support?
I'll leave that across the road for them to sort out. It's probably not for me to sort out.
Why are you guys doing your time trials at Santos this year instead of McKinnon Parade, which you've done for a long time?
It's a quicker track.
So all your times better, are they?
Not for me, it wasn't.